Hi, everybody. It's Jason Tempinski, psychic medium, level 2 QHHT practitioner, also a spiritual counselor and psychic soul body wellness counselor. I'm here today, Ask Jason, episode 3. So this is my series that I'm dedicating to answering common questions and viewer questions, and also questions I've received through email. I'm taking the opportunity to really kind of explore a little bit more in depth in terms of healing and spirituality and guidance from our spirit teams, our higher selves, and also how to tap in and listen to our physical body. And so I never really get the chance to fully go into detail. And sometimes I know that if I don't touch on certain topics, that people might be misinformed or take information, not particularly in the best way. So I really want to be able to expand and provide the information for learning and growth, particularly when it comes to this life path and what we're doing in this lifetime, and also understanding, I guess, our physical experiences a little bit more beyond what we traditionally have been taught. So I'm not a medical doctor, just as a disclaimer there. So my first two episodes, if you have not watched, are on how our belief systems and our collective belief systems about the physical body, particularly with old age, really affect and limit us. So if you are interested in that, definitely take a look. The last one, I talked more about how healing, how we have to open ourselves up to healing. And that may be a matter of how we view ourselves, our identity, and also there are people that identify so much with being sick or having an illness that they lose a sense of self. So really take a look at that if you haven't watched the episode. So today, I want to get a little bit more into lifetimes. It is kind of complex, so I will try to keep this as simple and approachable as I can. Yes, we have different lifetimes. We call them past lifetimes. Really, we're in a time now where our spiritual teams and spiritual guides are really wanting us to better understand that we are much more than one lifetime. The lifetimes we experience could be quote unquote past lifetimes, or they could also be simultaneous lifetimes. So it's a lot more, or much more than just exploring past lifetimes, but really starting to get messaging related to not just what we're doing in this lifetime, which I talked about in the last episode, but there are some ways in which we can also carry physical symptoms, or physical symptoms can spontaneously manifest in this lifetime due to our other lifetimes. If past lifetimes feels more comfortable, think of it that way. But there are ways in which we do sometimes manifest these symptoms. The reasoning, from what I understand, to the best of my knowledge, can vary. One is that we've experienced such a traumatic death in a past lifetime that those traumas surrounding it are carried with us into that lifetime. Based on my own experience in terms of quantum healing hypnosis sessions and communicating with higher selves and asking these types of questions, a lot of times children from very young age will come into this lifetime with various chronic symptoms or illnesses and disease that more often than not are related to a past lifetime experience. Why this happens, it isn't completely clear. Sometimes it has to do with the fact that we do ultimately set out in a particular lifetime to learn a lesson, and to have particular life experiences that will contribute to our own development and spiritual learning. Other times it can be a matter of something that it was so traumatic that we just don't let it go, and we come into this life and it's still an issue. Another thing that often happens, and I'm going to kind of say a phrase that I've found really relates to the way people kind of relate to certain physical ailments and chronic symptoms and pain and disease. Sometimes in our life, we might experience something that will trigger I guess I would call it an energetic memory from another lifetime. One example I always talk about is I met with a woman who historically had been very physically fit, very healthy, always in shape. And she got married, became unexpectedly pregnant, never really wanted to have children. And she got pregnant, she had the child, and something happened that was it was like her complete personality switched. She lost the vigor and the vitality that she had always had in her life. And it went much more beyond postpartum depression. There was just something about the experience of having the child that completely shifted her perspective, the way she thought about herself. She began taking on a lot of physical weight. She tried to get back into the same routine that she did prior to the pregnancy in terms of health and fitness. Nothing seemed to work. So when she came to see me for a session, that was her question. It's like, what happened? Why am I experiencing this? Why can't I lose this weight? Why can't I feel the same, life energy and life force that I felt before? It ended up that in her session, she went back to a lifetime. I think it was like pioneer days. And she was a heavyset woman that had a traumatic experience related to becoming pregnant. And then she had the baby. And when she had the baby, she died in childbirth. And there was this real sense of loss, even on the spirit side, where she was so grief stricken about the fact that she could not be there in the physical with the daughter who actually survived. And she stayed around for a long time because she was just so fearful that something was going to happen to her daughter. That trauma actually was triggered in this lifetime for her, even though she wasn't aware of the past lifetime. And it also kind of explained the reason why that she never really wanted to have children, not really knowing why, or actually not knowing why. But the act of having the child is what brought back, even though not on the surface was she aware, but physically, and her personality and her outlook. And she began taking on these qualities of this woman from this past life. So what does this have to do with healing? Sometimes it is, I said in a previous video, it's 99.9% of the time that our bodies are manifesting things that our spirit team wants us to know in this lifetime in order to be on our path and to attain what we set out to learn in this life. That's most of the time. The other times, and what I'm talking about now, is how sometimes we do carry things in, or sometimes we experience something in our life that our energetic body remembers from another lifetime, and we begin to take on aspects of that life, even though we don't know it or really fully understand it. In terms of the healing, it's a matter of recognizing, and the phrase that I was going to say earlier is, if it's come to mind that you've said, I feel like this isn't mine, this isn't mine. It comes out of the blue. This came out of the blue. I'm usually so healthy, and I'm usually so positive, and usually, so full of life. And then all of a sudden, this disease, this illness, this pain suddenly hits me, and I just don't understand where it came from. This is really common with the clients and the people I've met with, where what they're experiencing is not theirs. And the key to healing in these moments, or these times of, this feels so foreign to me, I don't understand it, is usually a good sign that it is something from another lifetime. It isn't yours. And that's why it feels so foreign and nonsensical. It's a matter of, and this is what I've seen and asked for in QHHT sessions when this is the case, is it's a matter of telling your physical body that is conscious, is aware, she is not in this lifetime. So if you're experiencing this, or this has crossed your mind, and even if you're unsure, but still, it never hurts, to just say to your physical body, if this is a foreign, if this is from a different lifetime, I'm not in that lifetime, please release this, please let it go. In the case of the one that I was talking about, this information was immensely transformative for her. It made, when she came out of the hypnosis and I told her, because she didn't remember the entirety of the conversation with her higher self, I told her, I said, this isn't yours, that you had the lifetime you went to, you died in childbirth. It was extremely traumatic. And even though it was a different lifetime, there was something within her that she began to cry. And she was like, I feel that. It resonates with me. It makes sense. And in that moment, she was able to release it, like acknowledging where this pain, where this depression, where this unacknowledged trauma was coming from. So in this sense, the purpose of this show is, or this episode today, is to let you know that in those instances where something feels like it's not yours, which there are other instances that may occur, especially if you're an empath, but I won't go there right now. But if it feels foreign, or even if it's a question in your mind, like, is this mine? Is this something I'm supposed to be carrying? Is this part of, is this not a message from my spirit team, but rather something that has just manifested or triggered in my body? I need to let it go. It's not mine. I want my life back, and I don't want the life of that, other woman, that other man in another lifetime. So hopefully this resonated with you in some way. If not, take another look at my videos, just recognizing, in a way it is empowering that just our communication with our body and recognizing something doesn't feel right, or recognizing like, why this just doesn't fit in with my life path. If any of that resonates, just communicate with your body, which you're also communicating with your higher self, and just say, this isn't mine. I need to let it go. Just let it go. So I hope this was interesting for you, and thank you for watching. And we'll continue this in my next episode. I'll be talking a little bit more about healing, another aspect that might contribute to your own physical healing, growth, and understanding of the bigger picture of our lifetimes and how we can work with our bodies in order to achieve a better balance and harmony, and also guidance from your spirit team. So again, please like, subscribe if you enjoyed this episode. Comments are always welcomed. If you have a question, feel free to post in the comments below, or feel free to contact me at jason@qhht.com. Thanks again, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.